Now from here, the last one is form, and with regards to programming, this is important because we're going to use we use forms in order to get data. Don't worry about it. More information on that later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a username, password, a login type form. So actually, that's exactly what the criteria asks you to do. So create a form asking for a username and password. So I have no idea how to make a form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to W3 Schools, HTML, and I'm going to look for forms. And it's right here, HTML forms. So here we go, HTML forms, and one of the examples just happens to be a password field, username and password. Now I could kind of cheat, and I could very easily just copy this, all right, bring it over to Dreamweaver. Like I said, the focus is not really on learning HTML. We just need to know it in order to do PHP. Paste it here, okay. Control S to save, F12. In here I have my username and my password. Simple as that. I don't have a submit button. Let's not worry about that. All right. So, but that would just be too easy. Now, if we were learning in if we were focusing on HTML, I would probably get you guys to type it out and know exactly the stuff. But I'm not even going to get you to do that. But what I'm going to do is, like I said, copy and pasting it would work, and I'm actually allowing it. It's okay. To me, it's more important that you're able to find the information that you need and do it quickly, rather than that's more important to me, being able to locate the information and solve the problem instead of memorizing exactly how to do this one thing. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it a little bit of the hard way, and I'm going to do this way because I want to show you a little bit about how Dreamweaver works. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a form. So again, I'm still in code view. This is my preference of working in code view. I'm going to go insert form. I'm going to insert a new form. Okay. Action, don't worry about that. Now, let's say if you don't know what a form action is, what would you do? Well, you would search it. You would ask me, or you would search it. Okay. In fact, if you ask me, I'll probably ask you to search it. So anyways, the name of the form, let's just call it login. Okay. And don't worry about the rest of them. Let's create the form. So here's my form and slash form. So start tag, end tag. I have an attribute and a value, attribute and a value, attribute and a value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into a few different lines because there's going to be some stuff in between here. So in between the form and slash form, I want to add the username field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert form text field. So you notice that you could insert a lot of things. You don't have to type out your coding. You don't have to copy and paste it. A lot of times you could just insert the coding that you want automatically. It's another cool feature of Dreamweaver. I don't really use this a whole lot. I prefer to kind of either type it in manually or copy and paste it. But let's enter a text field. Okay. Now in that text field, what I'm going to do is the first one is text because they have to enter their username. Okay. So the name of this field is going to be username. Don't worry about the rest of these attributes. Okay. If you want to know what it is, just search them out. Okay, and okay. So there's my text field. Okay, and underneath that, I want to go insert form. I want to add another text field, but this one I want to add a password field. Okay, the name of this text field should always, form field should also always have a name, password. All right, and that's it. So now, again, to do with the structure, the start of the form, the end of the form. These two lines are actually part of the form. So because these two lines are part of the form slash form, I want to indent them so I can visually show that these two are part of the form. So Control S to save, F12 to view, and here's my form. It says username, and password. Okay, now problems is there's no submit button. Okay, problem is, well, I want to skip a line here. I want to add username and password here, and there's no submit button. So let's fix that. So let's skip a couple lines here. So BR. Okay, you notice how I'm keeping my coding nice and tidy. My little blocks of line breaks, I kind of just automatically stick a line here just to make it a little tidier. Control S to save, F12 to view. There. Okay, now let's go username and password. Okay, so in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go username, and then password. Okay, Control S to save, F12 to view. Okay, I have username and password. Now, still not thrilled with it. What I want is I want the password to be on a separate line here. So I want this password to be under here. So how would I do that? Go back to the form. Now, after the username input field, I'm going to add a break here. All right. Control S to save, F12 to view, and there you have it. Now, still not thrilled. I want the username, I want the text fields underneath the username, the password fields underneath here as well. So I want these two fields on its own line. All right. So username, break, password, break, Control S to save, F12 to view, and there you have it. Now, still not thrilled. I want two spaces. I want an extra space between password and here. Okay, just to spread it out a bit. Again, part of my marking criteria is to make it look kind of nice. So in here, okay, I'm going to add a second break. There you go. F12. So there you have it. There's my username and password field. All right. Now I still don't have a submit button. Okay, so let's see. How do I add a submit button? I'm just going to guess. And actually, to be very honest, I really don't know how to do this button. Okay, so I go insert, form, form, button. Okay, now the name of this button is submit, and then okay. Oops, I screwed up. Back up. I want to insert the button at the very bottom here. So I go insert, form, button. Okay, type the name of the button will be submit. Okay, and then click OK. So here's my submit button. Okay, Control S to save, F12, and let's have a look what it looks like. There's my submit button, but it doesn't really say anything. So, and it's on the same line as the password field. I don't want that. So the submit button. So what I want to do is I want to go to here, value, submit. All right. And what I also want to do is I want to skip a line here, break, and another line here, break. Control S to save, F12 to view, and there's my submit button. Okay, so username, password, and submit button. Now what I want to do now is want to clean up the coding. The form starts here, the form ends here. You see that it's not nicely lined up here, so I actually want to kind of line it up nicely. So here is my username. Okay, this displays username, and this ask, and this coding here asks for a username, skips a line, skips a line. It displays password, so right here displays this password, and then this line here asks for a password, so asking for a password here, and this line here is the submit button, and that's it. So Control save to save it, and just because what I want to do is I'm going to take this form and I think I'm going to stick it in my table cell just to kind of prove a point. Okay, like this. Control S to save, F12 to view, and there's my form inside the table cell.